I don't think we've seen the semaphore go. Yep, and there it goes now. Going on in the lead, Dima in the chase. Side-to-side initiation, very wide from Huanan here, but Dima on an interesting initiation there finds it immediately, the pocket right after initiation. Now some gap developing between them before outside zone 3, now coming up to 5. Dima finds his way back in the pocket for the time being, but loses some ground again on the transition after the inside clip, trying to reel it back in, coming through outside zone 8, now 9. Not exactly getting on the doors, but proximity is still pretty decent, like a half car's gap between them at the beginning of the zone, reeling him in just before the finish, decrease it. Okay, let's see them swapped up, Dima in the lead and Huanan in the chase, no time to lose. Let's get right into it for the second part of this battle. Ooh, a very wide initiation from Dima. There goes one, if not even two wheels off the track. Does not shake Huanan though. He manages to adapt and find the pocket. He's right on Dima's door, very close proximity. They're going through outside zone 5. Now they're taking the inside clip, transitioning over for outside zone 7. Huanan not shaken whatsoever, still stays on the perfect proximity position to Dima's doors, transitioning over for the last two zones. Dima staying on the line. Oh, look at the proximity here with some massive angle across the finish. Battle it out here. Lewis from Team Eskuko Black, Frederick from Team Clutch. This Spain versus Norway. Let's see what they can do. A little bit of a gap already in a run-in developing between them. Nice initiation from Luis there. Frederick taking a bit of an inside line approach for the initiation, but finds his way to Luis's doors. Very good proximity. Of course, Luis putting down a very solid lead run as we're expecting from him. Already seeing him in our competition multiple times. Really good from Frederick here in the chase. Just as close in proximity as he can and mimicking the line and angle perfectly as they transition over for the last two outside zones. He immediately finds his way back on the doors after the transition. Really good run from us. It cost you not qualifying. Oh, well, let's see them swapped around already. Everything's happening so fast today. Frederick going to be in the lead now and Luis in the chase. Big angle initiation from Frederick here. Luis finds the ground in the inside clip, now loses a little bit before transitioning to outer zone 3, but immediately reels it back in. He knows what he has to do, sticks it on Frederick's door. Nice lead line from Frederick here on the very edge of the track. Still perfect mimicking from Luis in all aspects, just rubbing his front left tire on Frederick's door here. And for the last transition, he times it perfectly so he does not lose any ground. Say that he's affiliated with the team, so interesting what's going on there. Maybe a mistake in the data. Lillian representing Team Trap House, first participation in our competition. Nice initiation from Adrian. Lillian taking a little bit of an inside line initiation approach, trying to find the door. Yeah, taking the inside line for outside zone 3, finds the door. But sacrifices a lot of the line for that. Adrian still putting up a decent lead run. Whoa, Lillian almost over rotates before the inside clip, taking a bit of a shallower angle here to keep the proximity going. Nice control of the car. Good from Adrian here, going looked like a little bit shallow before outside zone 9, but manages to stretch it through and hit it. Now for the last two outside zones, Lillian right on his door. Across the finish line, see them swapped around. Lillian is going to be in the lead now. Adrian giving chase. I really like the livery design for Lillian there. Nice black and purple. Wide angle initiation, not completely filling outside zone 1 is Lillian, and Adrian also going through the inside clip. Massive angle through outside zone 3. Good proximity from Adrian there, right in the pocket, right on Lillian's doors, coming through outside zone 5 now, hitting the inside clip. Lillian keeps it smooth with a big angle transition, completely filling outside zone 7. Look at Adrian's proximity, just perfect mimic, sticking right on the door through outside zone 9, transitioning over for the last big sweeper turn. Just loses a few centimeters, which he immediately gets back. And look at the proximity across the finish line, just a little bit nervous. And even in my quali runs, Okay, but let's see the first group of this of this tandem side already. Iban Torreblanca in the lead. Benas unit is in the chase. Spain versus Lithuania. Iban going through his lead run very well now, but look at the proximity from Benis. Just sticks it right on the door. Manages to find some perfectly timed transitions to not lose any ground. Let's see next transition here. Leaves a car gap between them, but manages to reel it back in. Iban, on the other hand, not shaken whatsoever by the chase proximity. Just, massive angle transition before outside zone 10. Does not completely fill it, but about 80% does it. Perfection. We got it. Light goes green. Benas in the lead. Iban in the chase. Let's see this battle. Nice, confident initiation from Benas here. Iban immediately on the doors for outside zone 3, leaving some ground for the transition, but immediately catching right back up to Benas, going through outside zone 5, and now for the inside clip, another transition for outside zone 7. Reels back in the ground lost due to transition. A nice lead line from Benas here, transitioning over for the last big sweeper turn. Iban sticks it on the door. We're just seeing back to back to back to a little bit nervous, and even in my quali runs. Okay, but let's see the first group of this this tandem side already. Iban Torreblanca in the lead. Benas unit is in the chase. Spain versus Lithuania. Iban going through his lead run very well now, but look at the proximity from Benis. Just sticks it right on the door. Manages to find some perfectly timed transitions to not lose any ground. Let's see next transition here. Leaves a car gap between them, but manages to reel it back in. Iban, on the other hand, not shaken whatsoever by the chase proximity. Just, massive angle transition before outside zone 10. Does not completely fill it, but about 80%. From Team Awake from Sweden in the lead. Let's see them go, I mean. Nice wide initiation into the first outside zone. Oihan immediately on the doors, goes through that inside clip and loses some ground before outside zone 3. Playing catch up now in outside zone 4. Has managed to get all the ground back up and is in the pocket wheel to wheel when going through the inside clip. Now loses some ground after transitioning, but gets it right back up, going through outside zone 7. Right on the door through outside zone 8. Very good lead line from Simon here, as we are used to seeing from him, going right on the edge of the track. But look at the proximity from... Okay, let's swap them back around. Oihan in the lead this time and Simon in the chase. Again, the lead driver falling down a little bit, but it might be a bit misleading because you have to go through an S before initiating. Now Oihan doing a decent job in the lead. Simon trying to catch up in the chase now, manages to get in the pocket before outside zone 4, falling back a little bit and not perfectly mimicking the angle. A little bit of a gap before outside zone 7, manages to catch it back up, get right into the pocket on the doors of Oihan in outside zone 7, 8 and 9. Now for the last transition. Very close. Very good attack right after that. We're going to continue with Juan Jorge going up against Luis Trevino. It's an all-around Spanish battle, both drivers from Team Eskuko Black. Let's see them show class. Some team tandems in for today. Nice wide initiation from Juanan in the lead. Luis fighting a little bit to get all that ground up that he lost in the first outside zone, but wheel to door here, going through outside zones 4, now coming up to 5. These matching liveries, both E36 and 46, looking beautiful going through the track. Now for outside zone 7, a little bit of a shallower angle, but very deep line for Juanan here in the lead. Luis still keeps it on the door. And an interesting transition here, but very good line. Somehow gain all the ground back up. Let's see them swapped around as Luis takes the lead position and Juanan goes in the chase. The light is green and they go. Nice, very big angle initiation from Luis there. Juanan takes a much more of a matched line approach for the initiation. Very close in proximity, going through outside zone 3, now 4, and now coming up to 5. Still, Juanan keeps it on the side of Luis here now. going through the inside clip, transitioning over for outside zone 7. Still the proximity is as close as it can be. Lewis taking a very big angle approach for outer zone 8, going through 9, now transitioning over the last time to go through the last 2 outer zones. Juanan immediately finds the pocket. Don't have to repeat, both from Spain, both from Eskuko Black. Showtime again. Yep, let's see it. Juanan taking it away in the lead, Lewis in the chase. Nice big initiation again. Ooh, interesting initiation approach from Lewis this time around, not taking the shallow line but taking the wide line. Very aggressive and risky there, but sticks it right on the door. It pays back, so he gets all the proximity right from the get-go and is unshakable going through the first part of the track. Now the transition after the inside clip going through outside zone 7. Juanan sticks it on the edge of the track, but Lewis just shows us the proximity masterclass here, going through the big sweepers. Perfectly timed transition too for the last 2 outside zones. Juanan not as deep in the line as... And the lights finally go green and they go for the second run of their one more time battle. Lewis initiating in the lead aggressively with some wide angle, sticking it to the edge of the track in outside zone 1, now transitioning over for 3. Juanan has found the pocket and stays in it right from the initiation, already going through outside zone 5 now. A little bit of a shallower angle approach before the transition from Juanan here, while Lewis sticks it on the outside edge of the track going through outside zone 7 and 8. Juanan right there in the pocket, lacking a little bit of angle but still very good proximity. As they go through the last outside zones, Juanan finds the perfect angle. Has not had an actual battle yet today. Let's see if that impacts him at all. Chase starting in the lead. Adrian is going to be giving chase. Another Team Eskuko livery that we're seeing. Nice wide angle initiation for Chase here in outside zone 1. Adrian finds a very good line for the initiation and the first few zones to stay in the pocket. Chase filling the zones about 80%, going pretty wide. Decent approach from him in the lead at the moment, going for outside zone 7 with big angle, filling it like 75%. Gets all the way to the outside of the track in outside zone 8. Transitioning over for the last 2 zones for the big sweeper. Still keeps the line smooth. Adrian keeps it on his door. Nice. I love to see this. Top 16 definitely has gotten way more intense. Everybody's trying to get on the doors right after initiation. It is a difficult thing to do, to find that perfect initiation. Let's see them get swapped around. Adrian in the lead this time and Chase in the chase. What a perfect name for a drift driver, by the way. Nice smooth initiation for Adrian, not completely filling the first outside zone but about 80%. Now big angle for outside zone 3. Chase is on the door, does what his name implies the best. Now going through outside zone 5, still door to door, very close, good proximity from Chase in the chase position. Now going for outside zone 7, Adrian with nice smooth steady angle through outside zone 8, staying on the edge of the track. Chase in the pocket all the way through, transitioning over for the last 2 outside zones. Very good mimic from Chase in the chase position, going for position, chasing Oyhan Polo in the E36. They're off the line already. Let's see how these two do. Please, some clean runs. Nice wide initiation from David there. Oyhan in the chase, pretty close but losing some ground after the transition, playing catch up, reeling it back in. Nice, manages to do so before outside zone 4. Stays in there, and the proximity is not constant, going through outside zones 4 and 5, a little bit shaky there, but manages to stay solid through outside zones 7 and 8. Very good from David in the lead, not seeing any adjustments or any corrections. Ooh, a bit of a gap here before outside zone 10, but still manages to get back in the doors with fixed for the second run. And it isn't, so Oyhan's going to, no, it is. Oyhan's going to be in the lead and David's going to be in the chase now. Let's see. A side-to-side initiation. Oyhan very wide in the first outside zone. David going through the inside clip. Nicely timed transition. Oyhan taking a bit of an inside line but finds a perfect pocket position going through outside zone 5 now, door to door. Very good chase line approach from David here, losing a bit of ground before outside zone 7, but reeling it right back in very fast. A very good line from Oyhan here in the lead, going through outside zone 7, 8 and 9, now transitioning for the last time, going through the last two zones. David really good on these dives to get right back in the door in the pocket. Team Kaiju versus Team Eskuko Black as the lights go green. They're off for their first battle. Let's see, side-by-side initiation and another contact, massive contact, immediately wiping out Chase and sending him into the side barrier. So it does look like Lewis started his initiation a bit late, but Chase did hit. Isn't joking. Somebody forgot their anvil in it. Okay, off they go for the second round. Let's hope for a cleaner one this time. Yep, nice initiation from Lewis. Chase sticking in the chase on the doors. Lewis taking a nice wide approach. Chase, look at this proximity into the chase position from him. Stays on the door, a bit of a shallower line, but that's what you have to do to stay in that beautiful looking chase position. Wheel to wheel action, nice angle mimic and line mimic from Chase there, while Lewis keeps it on the outside edges of the track, completely filling all the zones. Aggressive transition from Lewis for the last outside zone, but Chase unshaken. Spain representing Team Eskuko Black. The light goes green. Man, the liveries look like they're almost like negatives of each other, pretty similar. Nice wide initiation from Armans there. Oyhan finds a good initiation, but does go through the inside clip. The proximity is good as they go through outside zone 4 now. Ooh, look at this proximity though now from Oyhan. Very good in the chase. Armans keeping the lead line going. We're going through outside zone 7 right now, outside zone 8, on the very edge of the track. Very good proximity from Oyhan here. Nice last transition for the last two zones. Ooh, Armans looked like he's one wheel off the track there. In a very excited voice. Also does not really help too much because the doggo definitely wants to go. Okay, let's see. Oyhan in the lead and Armans in the chase. For the last battle for top 8, Oyhan initiates, Armans initiates, right on the doors. Nice, they get through successfully the first two zones. Outside zone 3, Oyhan does not completely fill, but Armans is immediately on his door, knows what he has to do. Oyhan stays on the outside line for the outside zones 4 and 5. Now they go through the inside clip, a bumper-to-bumper transition, going for outside zone 7 and 8 on the big sweeper. Oyhan on the edge of the track, Armans right in the pocket, front left wheel in Oyhan's front right door. And for the last big sweepers, two zones, still stays on the door. Oyhan maybe